3. Subject is Bella's Hall of Fame. Hey guys, just wanted your opinion about the Bellas in the WWE Hall of Fame. Same with Tori Wilson. Because ever since the announcement, there's a huge backlash over it. It seems like a lot of the fans, mainly the Smarks, are acting like sensitive crybabies because they felt the Bellas have no place in wrestling in general, mainly because they're not good in the ring. But let's be real, sex sells the product. WWE is not the only company that does this. WCW, ECW, and TNA do it. Guys want to look at good-looking women more than women's wrestling. Men think about sex all the time, and it hasn't changed. And there are more people more deserving the Hall of Fame than them, of course. But they created a brand with their YouTube channel with both reality shows, Total Divas and Total Bellas. They're big names that people know, plus they sell merchandise. Being good in the ring doesn't make you a star. That's true. Being a star makes you a star. The other things, and also
this guy gets it.
Yeah, and we found the one audience that doesn't think about sex all the time, and that's the AEW audience.
That's true.
Yeah, because they're anti any sex appeal. There's stuff, so it's crazy.
But I mean, if you're telling me that, for instance, like guy that Coco Beware's in the Hall of Fame, he was never really anything more than, lower card guy, or they bring in guys like Drew Carey for a celebrity, that the Bellas can't be in this Hall of Fame. There's no voting.
No, the problem is because, you've got that one fan base. They're like, well, if you're not good in the ring, why should you be there? Not understanding that does not fucking matter. You can have all the talent in the fucking world. If you don't have charisma, you're just not going to be a superstar. I mean, who's a superstar that isn't charismatic? All the superstars have been mostly charismatic guys, and even in singing, you'll have people in music that maybe they're not that great, but they're charismatic and people like that,
Well, it's
Trump,
ring.
charismatic, huh?
Yeah. So being good in the ring, I mean, that could be subjective too. I mean, just because you like someone in the ring doesn't mean I'm going to like their matches. Like, does that mean that because a lot of people don't think...
but you know how,
it's a ridiculous conversation. People arguing over the Hall of Fame inductions for WWE. Is this? You can't find a more brainless conversation to have with somebody.
But if they're asking a question, we have to answer it. So go ahead.
Right. So the next one's from Matthew 27, and the subject is question for Conan. You ready, Conan?
Yep.
What's the deal with the relationship between AEW and AAA? I know Omega's a AAA champion, but are we ever going to see some AAA guys in AEW?
Right. Well, when they first started, they were very high on Hijo de Vikingo. They were very high on Laredo Kid. They actually talked...
That's the guy that Vamp says. Vikingo, right? That's the guy that he likes? Yeah, okay.
Right. Well, he actually discovered him. Vamp's the one that discovered him. When I got to AAA, Vamp hadn't used him. I was like, how come you're never on TV? I was like, how long has it been that you've been on TV? And he said, like 5 months. And I'm like, bro, you need to be on TV every week, And so he was one of the guys that I just started to push. But so they wanted Hijo de Vikingo. They talked to Laredo Kid, and then just as Laredo Kid was about to sign, he got on this humongous reality show in Mexico, and he was there for like 3 or 4 months. So they've been interested. I think this is what I think. I think that once they got in there and they saw the grind of what weekly TV is and everything that it entails, they've got bigger things to do than right now bringing AAA wrestlers. But I'm sure they're going to be bringing some people in the future, and we're going to keep bringing people from AEW.
Okay, next one is from it's Hughy.
All right, wait 1 second.
The subject is, does Cody Rhodes actually deserve his position in the industry? First of all, Conan, I liked your Boston Celtics shirt on last week's show. You looked like a stoned genie. And if you were one, my wish would be that you would do my podcast.
Well, let me grant that wish for you right now. No.
So the question I'm writing completely naked this week is to ask... See, he tries to be funny.
Yeah, always never.
This week is to ask Cody... See, this is like all goes back to how he thought that, like, the who let the dogs out, that question would get a big funny pop from everybody,
Right.
And it was like
that Geraldo Rivera. Remember when he opened up
the Hoff, Jimmy Hoff?
Did you ever see that?
Yeah,
it was a fart.
How hot were you at that?
Al Capone's vault.
Right.
Al Capone's vault. Yeah. Does Cody Rhodes actually deserve to be where he is in the wrestling business? He got into WWE because of his dad. He didn't have to work hard on the indies. And they got a lot of high-paying indie gigs and a big New Japan deal because of WWE. And now he's a top babyface in the company because he's one of the bosses. So, did Cody Rhodes earn his place? Is he too smug because he quacks his duck while checking out his Twitter mentions for marks? P.S. Disco, Conan, and even the other one, Joe, would you bang Nyla Rose for a week if it meant you got to bang Mandy Rose for a month?
No, but I'd bang you for a week if I never have to hear from you again. Go ahead.
Okay. Cody definitely. I mean, bro, that's the thing is like when the marks try to diminish characters because of where they were on the card and stuff, they don't know what people do behind the scenes. Like, because nobody would have guessed that I would have been a guy that was on writing teams and stuff. You know, just based on my character in WCW, they wouldn't think that. It's like it means nothing. Does Cody deserve his? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, what? No less than anybody else. He's not like less deserving than anybody else. He's done the miles and taking the bumps. He's been wrestling for a long time. You know.
Yeah, bro. He went to New Japan, and that's a hard gig, bro. That's a hard physical gig. He went over there, he got over. He got over in Ring of Honor, and then, bro, in AEW, bro, he's one of the top 3 promos to me right now in the business. And that's what it's all about, getting people to believe in your character, and they believe in him in AEW. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that in his position he needs to be getting on Twitter and answering everybody, But other than that, I think he's done a great job of, getting to the next level.
Next one's from Peter Condi. Subject is Nancy Benoit in the Hall of Fame. My question is this: why can't Nancy Benoit go into the Hall of Fame? I agree Chris should not be put in, but why not her? They allow celebs in who had nothing to do with business except for 1 or 2 storylines. I just think she's being forgotten. And like I said, Peter, I couldn't care less about the Hall of Fame. Who goes in, who doesn't go in. Except the wrestling business was performance. We weren't like this isn't. I don't know what criteria you're measuring people on. Just if anybody was, it's like it seems like if anybody was in the business and did it for a long period of time, you're kind of going in the Hall of Fame. And it's like, okay, what does that mean? There is no Hall of Fame. Like, where is the Hall of Fame when you go visit the Hall of Fame? They don't have a physical Hall of Fame. So what is this?
Which I think is a mistake. They should have something.
It's a ceremony. Yeah, they should have it with all the great stars in history they've had. They should have a physical one.
Yeah. Don't forget
but it is what it is. It's a ceremony. It's telling thank you for your service, thank you for your time. You're on good terms with WWE, and we're gonna make some money together.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And I know that
I don't know what it would mean putting her now, unless her state was getting money or something like that, or But go ahead.
I just think it would probably drudge up a lot of bad feelings too. Just mentioning her name and having her inducted, and I mean, not to be too cynical, but I'm not sure how many of the fans today remember her because she was off TV after 95 or 96. So I don't know how well remembered she is either, unfortunately.
Next one's from Brandy McCarty. Subject is Humberto and Garza. Hello, Conan, Di, and Joe. The question is for Conan. Are you familiar with Humberto and/or Garza? If so, do you have any cool stories? I see really great things in Garza's future. This guy has it. It spells it, I-T, the it factor.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time, day one listener, Bam.
Well, I know both of them, of course, because I knew Hector, their uncle, and their cousins. They worked with me in Crash. And let me tell you, I spent a lot of time with Garza, especially with Angel Garza. But one of the reasons that guy also has it is, and a lot of people don't know this, when he was 17 years old, he was on this reality show in Monterrey, which is the 3rd largest city in Mexico. And they have this really powerful network there called Multimedios. And they had this competition. He wore a mask. And it was like a dating game. And at the end, whoever won the thing got to go out with him, and he'd take off his mask. And they knew he was a really good-looking kid. So when he took off his mask at 17 years old, bro, he became like a humongous celebrity in Monterrey, and they would have him on all these talk shows, and they even gave him his own show for a while. And so he'd already kind of knew what it was like to work in front of a TV camera and with a production team and all that. And with that look, he was just destined to be a star. And I remember we were in Bolivia once, and Alberto Del Rio was in the dressing room. This is probably about maybe 3 years ago or 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And I remember Alberto was looking, and he goes, "Oh, bro, Vince is going to love you when he sees you. Just everything that he's looking for, tall, good looking." He goes, "Just learn English." So, those two guys, real humble, cool dudes, and I wish nothing but the best for them, man. We worked a lot together, and it was really cool because Humberto really got hot when we turned him heel, because they had him as a babyface, and all the guys were booing him. All the guys were booing him. I said, bro, just turn heel. And once he turned heel, bro, he really went through the roof. But both cool dudes, and they're gonna make it in this business.
That's it for the mailbag.